Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Thundercat's debut album, 2011's The Golden Age of Apocalypse. It's pretty good, although the genre is super specific, so it's not really to everybody's taste. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks that added to my playlist, 6 out of 13, so one under half here. This album is definitely good, but it's super wacky, and if you don't like jazz or don't like techno stuff, you may really dislike this album. Super jazzy, but it's still got some sounds from the more sort of techno instrumental scene. There's some clear video game soundtrack influence here as well. You can really tell that this game came out the same year as the Portal 2 soundtrack. They sound kind of similar with some of the sort of instruments and stuff that they're doing. In terms of the actual tracks, probably half of them are pretty good on their own. The other half work pretty well in the context of the album, so it comes together all right. I do wish there was more to latch onto in terms of lyrics or hooks, though, and there are some tracks here that are fully instrumental and thus not particularly memorable. As a result of this, the album flows pretty well for most of the time, but it does drag in sections without any super solid songs, particularly towards the back half. It kind of drags a little bit. Overall, it's good, but it's definitely a bit of a nicher taste than what I usually listen to and review, so good to get a variety in here. There were no singles released before the album, and my favorite track here is definitely the second one, Daylight. It's one of the more upbeat tracks here, and it's got decent lyrics and a good techno groove backing it up. I also liked Jamboree and Walkin', but I think Daylight is clearly the best song here. So I ranked this album second of the two Thundercat albums I've heard so far, as I was first introduced to him by a friend through his 2017 album Drunk, which I think is pretty good, although I haven't reviewed it officially yet. It's pretty clear, though, that Drunk is just more experienced and thus better than his debut. Although it is a pretty strong debut, Drunk is also a double album, so it's got significantly more songs on it that sound better individually, in addition to pretty much an equivalent quality of flow. So I think pretty sure that Drunk is just strictly better here. Additionally, this album does not take my top spot from 2011. That stays with Adele's 2011 album 21, which is definitely superior to Golden Age of Apocalypse in terms of quality. There may be times when I'd prefer to hear some jazzy stuff, but in general, I think Adele is better here. Next up, I'll be finishing my reviewing of the main Half-Life soundtracks. So the next one up, final one, is Half-Life 2 Episode 1, which came out in 2006. So stay tuned for that, and as always, stay minty.